Hi, folks, and welcome to my studio. There's a lot of things going on at Sherwood Oaks Christian Church, specifically a lot of things going on the west side. So come on in, have a seat, and let's talk about a few of those things. Hi, my name is Mike Richardson, and in my studio tonight is Neil Donhauer. Neil is the lead elder or head elder? What do you call yourself?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. He's one of the main elders of Sherwood Oaks Christian Church. And Neil, going through a lot of these transitions, things that we're going through right now, there's a lot of questions. And so I was asking Neil some stuff. He says, hey, why don't we just pop into the studio and do a video podcast? That way we can answer a lot of questions that a lot of people can hear the answers instead of just one-on-one. You could never go one-on-one with everybody. So that's why we're in here today. And it just occurred to me earlier, Neil, that not everybody is a lifelong Sherwood Oaker, if that's the right term, okay?
Yeah.
And I haven't been here long, so they might not know the 50-year history of Sherwood Oaks and the great story of some of the debt that they got rid of. Some might not know. If you're like me, you haven't been here long enough, you don't know the humble beginnings of the Westside campus or even the Bedford campus. And if you're either not aware or maybe you just haven't paid attention, I don't know, but not aware of some of the issues and, can I say, problems that the Westside campus is having. Now, not bad problems, they're good problems, but nevertheless, we can still call them problems. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the things about the needs. And I'm one of those guys, Neil, that if you want my attention, tell me why it is you need something. I know a lot of people, they come right out of the box and say, we need this. Okay, that's fine. But I'm the kind of guy, if you tell me why you need something, and now the history of your church, and now I can look and see how God has had his hand in so many ways of what's going on. And if you don't care, can we start at that point? Because this is where you guys got me, I'll be honest. Neil got up one Sunday morning and he was saying, I know I'm talking a lot right now, so I want to get to you, but one Sunday morning and said, there's 9,000 reasons why we need to look at some transitions. And I thought, yeah, whatever. And then he says, there's 9,000 people in this 5-mile radius that need Jesus. Now, if you would, take off from there, because you guys did some great homework. You had a team come in and do a bunch of surveys. So talk about the Westside campus specifically, if you will, but all of them. But in that radius around where we meet at MBETS, what did you guys discover through the process that you went through?
Yeah, Mike, thanks. Appreciate that. And, when the Westside, I'll start there, when the Westside started, it really came off of a campaign, right? So we come full circle. I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
It came off of a campaign. So Tom Ellsworth, 40-year pastor at Sherwood Oaks, in his retirement, one of his goals was to leave the church without debt. Fantastic. So from 2013 to 2015, we had a dedicated campaign called Unleashed, and that goal was to retire $5 million in debt.
Wow.
Before Tom left. And as has been our history, the people of Sherwood Oaks stepped up in a big way.
Yes.
And we retired that debt, went on the Dave Ramsey show and screamed that out. And,
I love it.
It was fantastic.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we said at the end of that was, what do we do now that we're out of debt? And we said, well, 1, we want to bless the church. 2, we want to bless the community. And 3, we want to bless the world.
There you go.
And then we left some room in there to say, and what the Holy Spirit has in mind, let's let him do his work. So at that time, John Robertson and Tom Ellsworth got together, and they talked about what could we do to reach just an unchurched area of our backyard. And so we looked at the West Side and identified the fact that there wasn't a lot going on spiritually on the West Side. There's a few churches, and but it was growing. So we thought, well, that's a good opportunity. So John pulled together a Bible study, met at the Cloverleaf restaurant.
Sure, West 3rd Street. Yeah.
That's right. And there was about 10 people in the initial study. As the first year went on, this is in 2015, it grew, right? People started bringing friends, and it started growing, and it got into the 20s and beyond. And the group came back to the church and said, what would it look like if we created a worship experience Well, we couldn't do that necessarily in the Cloverleaf.
Not at
right?
the Cloverleaf, no, right.
Although the people at Cloverleaf are fantastic. So we ended up looking around and we found some space in the AmVets building and worked out a deal with AmVets for a rental.
Nice.
And we started worship. So we got together and we talked about the idea of come as you are, right? So let's meet people where they are, come as you are. And it grew. And that was 7 years ago. And so that from that initial group, there were 25 people from the Sherwood Oaks East Campus who said, we will go help. So it was
we'll go meet in the bar at the West Side.
We'll meet in the bar on the West Side,
right?
Turn the disco ball on,
yes,
play some bingo, and we'll worship, right?
Wow.
And so that was the humble beginning part, right? And God really blessed this effort. And, people started inviting friends and coworkers and family and neighbors. And so 7 years later, we're running 650 on an average Sunday, with both online and live. And it continues, that number continues to escalate. A few weeks ago, we had 11 chairs left.
That's not many.
In the 9:30 service. And the kids are, bouncing off these small walls.
Yes.
And we've gone to, AmVets has been great to work with, but we're just out of space, and so are they.
Well, I know that even parking, people are parking in fields that don't belong. I mean, they're parking everywhere.
Yeah.
You have fire marshal concerns, let's be honest. We don't want to talk too loud on that.
Yeah.
But you can't put 1,000 people in a 350 capacity. You cannot. I mean, okay. Kids are bouncing off the wall. Like I said, our future generation teens are meeting in a house up on the hill.
That's right.
Men study or having Bible study in a barn, for crying out loud. Okay, that's all good. We got great problems. That's a good problem to have. But what got me going on this was the study you guys did and the number of people. Now, just mention these numbers. Now, statistics are what they are. 6,500, 3,500, 4,000, 7,000. Now, those numbers mean nothing unless you know the context.